Welcome back, everybody, and Merry Christmas to all of you. Thank you so much for checking in. I hope all of you are having a great December, and Merry Christmas to each and every one of you that checks in, watches the channel, and so forth. I appreciate you. This episode, I'm going to do a couple of real quick things here. I want to give thanks to a couple of people that gave me some things over the course of the year, and I want to publicly thank them. The first is Rick at 007 Pipe. Rick is a pipe smoker. He has 2 channels which are linked below. Be sure to check them out. They're really good. And I really like him. So many months back, I did an episode about Sexton Blake, the British Digest series, and I had quite a few people respond to that via email and giving me further information, which was really nice. So thank all of you who did that. I've thanked everybody that did that privately. I'm going to thank you again in general publicly. But Rick sent me some material, and I want to talk about that real quick. So he sent me quite a few things, but the thing I want to talk about in relation to that episode was this digest, Sexton Blake Library number 395, which I think is 1957. I have a scan coming up. So Rick sent me this along with some other material, and I wanted to thank him for that. And I read this, and I loved it, of course, from that episode, which you can easily find on my channel. Sexton Blake is one of those digests from the UK that I love collecting and reading. Highly entertaining. So he sent me this one. I didn't have it. It's The Last Days of Berlin, and I believe this credited to Peter Saxon, who was a pen name for a variety of people, which I explained in that previous episode. And this is, 57, I believe? I think this is March of 57. This is really good. So I read this and I loved it, right? Thank you, Rick, for sending me the gift of all of those things you sent me. He also sent me a copy of Manhunt, the anthology from Manhunt, the first volume, which I didn't have. So thank you, Rick, for everything. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for being the cool guy that you are. Just thank you for that. Loved this. So, Rick, there's a little trivia involved here. So I read this, and I liked it. I thought it sounds familiar. Did it not sound familiar? Yes, it did. It was republished and rewritten by W. Howard Baker, one of the men behind the Peter Saxon pen name over there years ago in the UK. And guess what? He renamed it The Rape of Berlin, published it under his own name in 1965, expanded it and changed the names of the characters, and put it out again. Now, this is pretty good, but this is an expanded version of this. I still prefer this over this. Good as this is, it works better as a Sexton Blake thriller. So, a little trivia there. Afterward, many months later, thank you, Rick. I just had to get that out there because of this, and it goes on and on. I love these little connections that happen in the literary community and with people. They're wonderful. So I want to thank Rick for that. Again, his 2 channels are linked down below. All right, with that said, comic books. My comic book guy, Jesse at Modern Age Comics, aka Black Cat Books, in Algonquin, Illinois, is retiring, and he's sold the business. Good for him. Nothing's really going to change, I don't think. I met the new guys. They're great. It's going to still be open, but he's taking a step back. And I went to pick up my comics recently, and he gave me a gift as well. Not usually a guy that gets gifts from people. He gave me some comic books. Okay, and Jeff was there. Jeff, thank you. I hope to still see you around. Jeff is his bud, and he's my bud. He's everybody's buddy. You know what? Great place. I'm going to miss you, Jesse. All right. Guess what he gave me? Comic books. Let's go through them real quick, shall we? Dale Evans, Queen of the West. I don't know what the numbers are on these, but I just wanted to show you this. This one is great because it has bullet on it. So the Roy Rogers television show ran in the 1950s for 100 episodes. And, Trigger is in the episodes. But he had the Willys Jeep, he had Bullet the Wonder Dog, Dale had Buttermilk, and so he gave me these really cool comics. By the way, I have a scan of this. Look at the coat she's wearing. As you can see, I love this flashy B-movie style Western wear stuff. I've been wearing it for years on this channel. And look at the coat that Dale's wearing. Isn't that beautiful? Come on, you ladies would look good wearing this stuff. Jump on the bandwagon, all right? Anyways, look at this one, Queen of the West, Dale Evans. And here's another one with buttermilk. Isn't this beautiful? Look at this. Thank you, Jesse, for these beautiful comics. Now, Roy does not appear in any of these out of this group. Now, I have some other Dale Evans and Trigger and all those other related titles to the Roy Rogers Show, which was an incredible cultural phenomenon. I don't remember if Roy is in I know he's in some of the Trigger comics, obviously, and so is Dale, but he's not in any of these. But Pat Brady is in these, Buttermilk is in these, Bullet is in these, and the Willys Jeep are in these comics. Really fun. Here's another one. Look at this beautiful one. This is a beautiful photograph of Dale with Buttermilk. And, Dale Evans had a better singing voice than I have ever heard anyone give her credit for. Listen to those recordings, and she was a great songwriter. She wrote look up the songs that she wrote. You are familiar with them. Besides Happy Trails, she wrote some other really cool songs. Talented woman, beautiful voice, underrated in the music industry for her recordings and what she did. Can you tell I'm a fan of the Roy Rogers phenomena? I grew up with it, That's the way it is. So a couple more from Jesse. Thank you, Jesse. Look at this. Gene Autry. All right, that's a nice, beautiful cover. Now, in a previous episode about Western comics, I showed you the back, on some of these Western comics. Dale doesn't get a poster on the back of her comic books on this group, but Gene did, and Gene also, and I'll have a scan of the cover and the back, and then on the inside back cover, there is another poster. Look at this. See if I can get that up there. I'll have a scan of that coming up too. Gene Autry comics are part of the Gene Autry phenomena. Fantastic. All right, one last one that he gave me, and thank you, Jesse. The Flying A's Range Rider. Remember Range Rider? Range Rider ran for only 78 episodes. I think it was a 2-year run. And this is actor Jock Mahoney, who began his career in Hollywood as a stuntman. If you watch The Adventures of Don Juan with Errol Flynn from the late 40s, at the end of that film, Errol Flynn is doubled by Jock Mahoney, who leaps down the staircase in the fight at the end with the dagger. So Jock Mahoney went on to transform and transition into acting himself, and he did many films and he did television shows. Range Rider was one of them, immensely popular. I believe this is out there as a box set. Along with the Roy Rogers is also out there. Those television shows have been put out. They were all black and white westerns from the classic era, 50s and 60s westerns. It really began in the 50s. Fun stuff. So I wanted to put that out there as a thank you to Rick and to Jesse. Thank you, Jesse. Gosh, what a year. So just to wrap it up and say thank you to you viewers, you regular viewers like Steve Everett, and there's so many others. I'm sorry I'm forgetting your names. There's so many of you. Robin Hood is a name of a viewer. And so many other people that comment fairly regularly. Booktubers that comment. I don't get a lot of booktubers commenting, but when you do, I'm glad. I watch a lot of booktube channels. As much as I can, and they're wonderful. I have an entire list linked below of booktube channels that I think are worth your time to watch. I've never met any booktuber, by the way. I have met one YouTuber, and that's Hiking with Shaun. I met him down in southern Illinois at the Cave in the Rock, and I have an episode about that. And I met him down there, and I still subscribe to his channel. There's various hiking channels I subscribe to. Jon Zaremba, who is a writer, I hope I pronounced your name right, John. He does some things where he travels, and he films his trips as well. I think that's awesome. I love that. And you can do anything on your channels. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to follow anybody's rules. Anyways, there's a list down below, and that list is, to me, a really good list because I've never met one of them, but my assessment of them, you can tell what people are like when you watch them. These are good people. I believe this. If I'm wrong and a couple of them turn out to be axe murderers, I've got mud on my face, but I don't think that's the case. I think they're good people, and I think they have big hearts, and they know what they're talking about in the booktube community, as you wish to call it, whatever. It's just a label, but anyways, interesting year for me, obviously. I injured myself. I had to recover from that. Then I recovered partly at home. Then I went to the cabin where I couldn't really even, I could fish off the pier standing up. And it wasn't until the end of the summer that I was able to get in a boat again. And then we went to Scotland, and even in Scotland, I had some issues with some of the hiking. I'm still sitting in my comfortable chair. This is probably going to be a permanent chair back here for that reason. There's a point, guys and gals, where you get to a certain age where all of a sudden the body doesn't cooperate from in its recovery of injuries, and that seems to be where I'm at. So instead of whining about it, I'll adapt. Anyways, I think it's been a good year. I think I put out good episodes. There will be less in 2026, but I wanted to get that out there so that you know that. I want you to know I appreciate the viewers. I appreciate the booktubers who engage with me. This past year, Michael K. Vaughan surprised the hell out of me and honored me by asking me to be the host of his June on the Range, which is one of the few booktuber trends that I really like. I like booktubers and I like what they do. My personality is such that I do my own thing. But I do like June on the Range, and thank you, Michael K. Vaughan, for acknowledging me with that. That meant a lot. That meant a lot to me. My hand is always extended in friendship, even to those of you that don't like me. There's always a few, right? In any event, it's been a good year. It's been a challenging year. I pulled off everything I wanted to do. And I'm going to keep things going to the best of my ability. So in any event, for those of you that check in regularly, thank you so very much. You never know what's going to happen, folks, on the road of life. In the meantime, my friends, I want you to stay well, stay happy. I want you to feed your brains, and I want you to read a book. And I also want to lift my glass and cheer to you all for the new year. This is Innocent Gun, a whiskey cask brewed oatmeal stout. It's a wicked brew, and I do quite love it. So, my friends, Happy New Year, and cheers.